This is Meltdown Live, presented by MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag for double your initial deposit. You sign on to make a deposit, they double it with code NEXTROUND at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag.
Oh, hello there. Tim Melton here of The Meltdown, your master of ceremonies for the next hour of frivolity, as we are looking forward to having a lot of fun here with you on this fun Friday edition of The Meltdown. We appreciate all of Meltdonia and all of you loyal subscribers who have hit that button and that notification bell so you never miss when we go live, even if it's for a second time. We now welcome in EG to the program. EG!
Hello.
We were just discussing your sadness about not being able to continue to be a hockey fan after last night's events.
Yeah, and I was explaining that while I loved the event, it was fabulous. I literally at times jumped up in anticipation. I feel like the next hockey game I watch will simply not hold a candle to that. So I kind of have to take it in stride, but I'm learning hockey would not be a bad sport to cover. I could be rinkside.
Hockey is an extremely fun sport. I'm a Dallas Stars fan, so I really enjoy watching the Stars. There be one team out of Dallas I can continue to fully have confidence in because my Mavericks obviously still have the stake right here in my heart after getting rid of my boy Luca.
Yeah.
Hey, my boy Hunter Bussey is here in the studio with us in the Culver studio. Hunter, how are you, my friend? We went to Culver's a couple of days ago and it was fantastic.
Phenomenal. Absolute phenomenal. Got some chicken. It's good.
It was great. I love the ketchup pumps there, which are awesome. And obviously, I love that it has Coke products. They have Coke products there at Culver's. Go check out Culver's of Birmingham or Culver's of Hoover. We've also been enjoying some physical media field trips. We've been doing a lot of those this week. Hadn't been necessarily great for our wallet, but it's been really great for our soul.
Yeah, I agree. It's been fun. It's been really fun. We've got some good finds. You've gotten some really good finds.
I have. I like to find that perfect item at the perfect moment. That's where I get really excited. And I feel like I found a couple of those, and we will be sharing our segment of physicality, our latest one, to end the show today. So stay tuned for that for all of you physical media collectors here in studio as well. Luckily, thankfully, Tyler, Lionel, Johns, Tyler, you've got to be a little bit freaked out right now.
I am. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to make it home today. I think I'm under a curse. So,
Why?
well, last night Tim and I went to see a movie called The Monkey. It's about a wind-up toy monkey that causes a bunch of unfortunate deaths, very wacky Rube Goldberg style deaths, Final Destination style. And if you turn the key and you play with the monkey, you get cursed, EG, and it kills people. So,
Well, you just ruined the show today, EG, because you just unlocked the curse. And you are the scaredy cat amongst the bunch.
It's a piece of
I
plastic.
don't think you didn't see the movie, but that's the problem.
all right. So we haven't gotten to the crux of the issue here. Is that after watching this movie and taking home this
Popcorn bucket.
lovely monkey that I respect.
Do you have a
and,
photo of when you received it?
I do. I was so happy. I mean, look at me and the little
Never.
guy. We're just happy as clams. And what I did not know is that I would end up being cursed. I walk into the Meltdown studio this morning, plop down Mr. Monkey on the desk here, and out of nowhere, the light above me falls, hits the light above EG. That falls into a camera. The microphone here went off the table. My monitor that's just to my left that shows me every camera feed off the table completely.
Let me tell you, we
And
know what happens when things in this room go off the table. They suck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It just gets unbearable.
Yeah.
And
Very quickly too.
we had to reset everything, and I almost thought that we weren't going to be able to have a show because everything was just off the table.
Yeah. And
Well-
you never want anything off the table.
No, and this monkey is the cause of it, apparently.
Yes.
And see, EG, I think you would be doing that a lot less if you knew that the monkey, when it starts playing its drums, that's when it's picked its target.
He's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
hefty popcorn bucket. Expensive too for popcorn buckets. Thank you, Reed. Great birthday present for me.
Absolutely. The
World's best boss. Have to shout him out.
president of the company, making it a curse upon all of our souls. So we appreciate that so
Well,
much.
he
And
had good intentions, much like the father in the monkey.
it makes sense, though, that the president of Disrupt Media buys the monkey and then Disrupt Media becomes cursed. Not just you, but the entire production. And I mean, just little thing here. I mean, we started the stream today, and what happens? The stream was cursed.
Audio was down.
Audio's
because-
down because that freaking monkey. And I'm terrified of what we may be bringing in here. And EG, you don't seem to be taking it seriously, and that's going to be your downfall. Because
And-
I don't think it will.
Oof.
I know it won't actually.
You're not supposed to insult
Poor choice of words.
objects like this. There's another.
Oh.
It's literally, y'all.
no,
Uh,
oh no.
It is a
EG, do
popcorn
not
bucket.
insult him.
It's a popcorn bucket.
Do
You
not
can eat popcorn
insult
out
him,
of this.
EG.
EG, I'm very nervous.
Oh,
I don't.
That-
You
she's
don't
so-
know what
she's
you're
literally
doing.
going
Are
skiing.
I got the Holy
are
Spirit.
you familiar with the legend of Robert the doll?
I am not.
So this is an old, like, Victorian style doll, and it's known as the most cursed object in the world. And that is because every owner of Robert the doll has gotten in some crazy accidents, just wild amounts of misfortune happen to them. And so it's locked up in Ed and Lorraine Warren actually owned it for a while and had it in their museum.
Those are names you want associated with a collectible.
Yeah, exactly. And it was in a glass case marked absolutely do not touch this doll. And you can't take flash photography of it. And it's also said that if you speak ill of it, that it can put a curse on you. And there are lots of people who have visited this doll and ended up very, very sick. I mean, like crazy terminal illness diagnosis, like weeks later.
I just want to point out one more time. I don't think I've gotten it across here that out of everyone in this building, and I don't even mean just in our offices, I mean in the building, there is nobody that's a bigger scaredy cat than EG
Yeah.
when it comes to you've even said being
Yeah.
afraid of your own shadow.
Yeah.
And yet, you're not taking any of this or the series of events that have followed seriously. On the next round today, Tyler's camera would not operate, would not work.
That's actually true. It was flickering the entire show, and Scott had to keep resetting it, and it just never cooperated. And so we ended up just killing that camera entirely. It's still unplugged, and we're hoping maybe it fixes itself over the
So this-
weekend because we don't know what happened.
Every Zoom link that
No,
Tyler
yeah,
sent
yeah.
out today did not work.
Well, this sounds like a Tyler problem, not a me problem.
It is a
Hey,
monkey problem.
whoa. You stop right there. I had everything set up perfectly. There were some other issues.
Saying it sounds like this is a Tyler problem as
Yeah,
it's cursing
in
you.
Your curse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, it sounds like it's just your fault.
No,
You're
no,
not
no.
cursed.
Tyler's
You
about to
suck.
throw hands.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we have an innocent soul that has been wrapped up in all of this because last night at the movies, we met a loyal Meltdonian, and that is Jason. We saw him there
Hey.
we saw him at the movies. He came up, he goes, "Hey guys, so sorry to bother you, you big stars, but I'm a fan and I got to come up and say hello." And I was like, that's awesome. I'm so happy that Jason came up and say hello. And we took a photo together and we're showing that now. And Jason held this monkey, as you can see, which means, Jason, unfortunately, you're not going to make it through the weekend, but it was very nice meeting you yesterday.
I don't know.
Watch your 6.
I feel like our fortune cookies have more impactful results these days.
More impactful was E.g. You did not see the studio this morning.
I didn't.
Just respectfully, you did not see the mess this place was in.
I did not.
Yeah. Now, I'm worried that we're not going to make it through the show today without more problems due to that freaking cursed monkey. I'm very concerned about this. I don't know what sort of bad mojo we've brought into the studio. You seem to be fond of the monkey for some reason.
I mean, that's fine. You can pet the monkey. Just do not insult it. Do not call it a toy.
On a
These are,
popcorn bucket?
yes, these are things we learned last night in the movie.
Where's like the
Don't
made
let
in
me
China
touch it.
stamp on this thing?
Had 1/3 of the meltdown done their job.
Made in China.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
It kind of takes some of the like crazy scariness out of it. The monkey only in theaters.
I got you, EG, but you don't realize what has all happened today and
Yeah.
how it's all tied in to that blasted monkey.
Well, then why don't we remove it from the studio?
Because we're going to test the theory. We've set it
Ah.
next to you to see if actual bad things will
I hope
happen
my day gets even
to
better.
an innocent person.
Man, you're gonna miss your flight with as much as you've been talking
Nah.
about that monkey.
Nah.
You know, the U.S. was going to win in hockey last night until we got Tyler the popcorn bucket monkey.
Was that before or after?
It was before.
Are you serious?
It was before, yeah. So there you go. That's already cost you. Okay, let's talk about the movie itself, because we walked out with differing opinions on this one, Tyler, and I very much don't like this movie.
Yeah, so going in, I kinda knew you would not, but here's the thing. I didn't know that you didn't know that it was a horror comedy. Now, in your defense, in all of the marketing, it just seems like a horror movie with some dark comedic moments, but
Right.
this does not play it straight at all. It just we're leaning into it. We're having wacky side characters, wacky deaths, wacky everything. It's just never gonna land for you, I feel.
I can deal with some comedy in horror. I can deal with some comedic elements in horror. I feel like the best blend of those worlds is Scream. I feel like Scream has a little bit of like zany comedy at points where Ghostface is just falling all over the place, and it has a bunch of one-liners and a bunch of like goofiness to it, but it's also like deathly serious too. It's like
Feeling a little woozy over here.
yeah, it's like fun, like you're in on the fun, but it's still a really good slasher movie.
Was that a line?
Yes, that is a line from Scream 1 delivered by Matthew Lillard.
That's worse than Mark Wahlberg in The Happening.
It's
What? Me? No.
In context.
in context, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
There's another line is my mom and dad are going to be so mad at me.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, I feel like Tyler could play a Stu character. I feel like you could be Stu.
I could embody Matthew Lillard.
It would work. But this is more of a comedy horror movie. Like, that's my problem. Is it's not a horror comedy. It's a comedy horror. It is painfully unfunny, in my opinion.
Oh no.
In my opinion, I went through long stretches going, I can't believe they're doing this. Because the first 20 minutes, I was all in. I mean,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Feel
okay.
scary?
It felt like it could be very creepy. And then they broke the tension with comedy, and they never stopped, and it was just one of the most poorly edited movies. Comedy's all about timing.
Yeah.
Horror is all about timing. And those two things, they're very equal it takes the timing to pull off those different genres, which is why you see a bunch of comedy people go into horror. Like Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele, like the timing of comedy and the timing of horror, he's just got that sort of synchronization down pat. This movie could have used some more edits. I can't believe this was the final version of this film, because it went through long stretches of scenes where I was like, oh, they're really trying to make the audience laugh here. And some of our audience was laughing. In my professional opinion, there were large pockets of the audience that were not laughing after the first initial couple of laughs.
Was it a full house?
It was pretty packed.
Pretty full.
It's pretty packed. But Jason, our huge Meltdonian fan there at the theater, he was more on my side of not really enjoying it that much. However, there were other people outside the theater that were really enjoying it. So I think it's going to split people. And tonally, I just thought it was too goofy. It was just way too goofy at points. But
I mean, I'm not surprised by your take. It's like a like Final Destination with slapstick.
sounds awful, because it is. But I'd rather if they would have focused more on the lore and less on the trying to make things so over the top hilarious. I would have enjoyed it more. I think this is going for shock value. I think it's going for virality. I think it's going for trying to play the internet people that want some sort of quick hit sort of thing. And I'm just built a little bit different with the type of horror that I want. Now, I do think the design of the monkey is great. I think the popcorn bucket is great. I think the soundtrack in the movie is really, really good. I like that a lot. I thought Theo James has a great voice as a narrator in this. His vocal quality was fantastic. So there are elements of this that I really like, but overall, it was like a 2-star experience at best for me out of 5.
How did they acquire said monkey?
It's a sort of a hand-me-down sort of thing. Yeah. But know,
Shocker.
whenever you have hand-me-downs, there's always disputes there. But we've talked about this. It's Final Destination meets. You said Final Destination meets Home Alone. I
did.
definitely see
Yeah.
that.
What?
There's some Home Alone moments in there.
There's some Home Alone. There's some Annabelle. There's some Jumanji. I felt like there were some Jumanji elements in there, but it's a dark comedy that is rarely humorous, and I just feel like the timing is way off. But
It's like a throwback to the old Stephen King movies from the 80s and 90s, sort of like the more disposable Stephen King movies. Like
they should put that on the poster.
the ones that he just like cranked out in a weekend. That sort of thing.
That's not a rousing endorsement there.
Well, I mean, some people want to revisit
right.
that feel of cinema
It's
and not have everything.
it's 90 minutes, so that's maybe one of the best parts of it is that
It's quick.
it's quick,
Mhm.
but it felt long to me. It felt longer. I actually liked Captain America: Brave New World more than the monkey,
Wow.
Wow.
which is the bigger shock out of everything. So, wasn't a big fan of this one tonally. Thought it was way off, and we'll see what audiences think about it after opening weekend. How much money will it make? I definitely don't think it has a chance to come in first place. I
No.
think Captain America is going to stay there just by the way that movie's designed and distributed. But how much money will this movie make? I don't know. I think anything above $10 million would be a huge success. Anything above 10 would be a big success for the monkey. So we shall see. We'll have those box office findings for you on Monday's live show. All right. Let's get into a couple of headlines here on this Fun Friday edition of the show, including one from Captain America: Brave New World, which I just brought up. Director Julius Onah shut down reports of Harrison Ford being a diva on set,
Ooh.
saying,
Divinator.
saying, quote, he was an utter professional. He is a guy who's incredibly serious and passionate about the work. The creative process is one where you have these really meaningful and, at times, passionate conversations, but it was always working towards a target where we were making the best version of the film possible. I think Harrison gave a phenomenal performance in the film.
That sounds like somebody trying to not burn bridges.
100%.
Yes.
Good job, Tyler. Yes, that is absolutely correct. This tells me that Harrison Ford was a giant jerk on set.
Yeah, I mean, it really does.
And then confirmed.
He's kind of known to act that way,
Yeah.
so I'm not really surprised by it. Also, do we really think he's like that passionate about Marvel, or is he doing it for a check and then like any roadblock or mishap on set is just like, really? This is happening to me. This is what you brought to work with me?
Old man, curmudgeon, cranky Harrison Ford, I do not like.
I don't like it either.
But I love peak Harrison Ford. I'm a big Harrison Ford fan, and obviously his films have ended up in your collection, Hunter. You're a huge Star Wars fan. You're a huge Indiana Jones fan. Hearing that a director has to come out and talk about how Harrison Ford was not horrible on set, what does that tell you in your opinion?
He was definitely a diva.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we
He
go.
forgot to take his Provasic.
Probably so. You'll be checking out this movie soon. It will be even more empty, and you'll have your pick of the litter. You could probably just have a whole row to yourself if you want, because I do think in week 2 it's going to have a significant drop off in attendance.
I'll bring my weighted blanket.
Yeah, you can do that. We talked about it yesterday, and that is James Bond is now in the hands of Amazon. Amazon is going to be pushing forward with full creative after it being in the hands of a single family for more than 60 years. But now we have Jeff Bezos coming out on Twitter saying, who'd you pick as the next Bond? And the number one answer by far has been Henry Cavill from everybody.
Really?
Henry Cavill fans have swarmed Bezos' replies with photos and GIFs. Casino Royale director Martin Campbell had praised Cavill's 007 audition, where he said, quote, he looked great in the audition. His acting was tremendous. And look, if Daniel didn't exist, Henry would have made an excellent Bond. He looked terrific. He was in great physical shape, very handsome, very chiseled. He just looked a little young at the time back then. He definitely doesn't look too young now for the part. E.g.,
Yes,
Henry Cavill as James Bond, would you sign off on that?
of course.
So you'd be a fan of that?
Very handsome.
Very traditional looking James Bond,
Very
which is what a lot of,
American looking James Bond.
well, he's not American though, so
Yeah.
that's going to be
That's
one
an
issue.
American looking Brit right there.
Well, But, like, it just it just
I get what you're
can't.
saying.
Yeah.
She's still doused in patriotism from last
Yeah.
night.
Hey, before we jump all over EG here for
Please.
that comment, how many Brits are coming over here taking American roles,
Yeah.
and we
took their jobs.
believe that they're American?
Yeah.
Like they do a good
Fair,
job of it.
fair.
They do. He looks very,
No.
like
Back off,
yeah.
or else that monkey will come after
Yeah.
you.
To
Yeah.
be fair, Andrew Lincoln from The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes, had no idea he was British until like years after I stopped watching The Walking Dead.
You know when I learned about it? About 17 seconds ago.
Okay. Oh, there we go. He's in Love Actually.
I don't
And I've never seen Love Actually. So
Wow.
I wonder what's harder to do, an American accent or a British accent.
British accent, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because the Brits are so good at coming over here and just taking our American
Yeah,
accent and running
we're not
away
really
with it.
good at doing
No.
British. Faking
How many
British.
Americans are getting British roles compared to the
Probably,
Brits
like,
taking
none.
our roles?
I don't know.
wasn't there like a Ben Affleck and Matt Damon movie or something? Or they
You thinking of Good Will Hunting where they're in
No.
Boston?
of who was in that movie about like dueling in France?
Oh yeah. The Last Duel.
Yeah, who wasn't that Ben Affleck
Was
and Matt Damon?
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Adam Driver.
I don't remember Matt Damon putting too much effort towards his accent in that movie. Adam
Well,
Driver
I
was in
never
there.
saw it.
Probably-
I just know it took place in France.
Probably why we
I
don't
cannot talk
see
today. The monkey cursed my mouth too.
much of that because I feel like the Americans aren't going to put in the effort to like try and be non-American.
Yeah.
Like me, beneath me.
I'll tell you,
to
we
be a
would beat the
Brit.
Brits in hockey.
Yeah, we would.
Okay.
USA.
Anyway, will Henry Cavill be the next Bond? I think absolutely not. But
Oh, whoa. Who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know that's the thing is I don't know the answer. I think it's going to be an unknown.
I wish.
Interesting.
Like, is that fair to take the field basically of like known actor or unknown actor? And I think it's going to be an unknown.
I think
Yeah.
think
A
so.
relative unknown. Maybe not a complete unknown.
But
You
like
know-
some up and comer.
Yeah, Daniel Craig was unknown.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most-
Commercially,
yeah.
he was unknown. He had been in a couple of films. He had been in Road to Perdition,
Mm.
which a lot of people maybe.
Never heard
Oh,
of that.
okay. That was a Tom
How-
Hanks movie.
Tall is Henry Cavill.
If
think-
I had to guess, which I don't know the
Wait,
answer,
let's guess. Everyone give me your guess.
how tall Henry Cavill is,
Yes.
I'm gonna go with 6'3".
I'm going to take 6'2".
I'm going to go 6'1".
6'4".
Oh,
Oh.
wow. I got it. How tall is Henry?
He looks
6'1".
Oh
Wow.
wow!
Who guessed that?
Me.
Oh, amazing.
It's almost like
Wow.
she's
No.
looked it up before.
I really never have. But thank you, Tyler, for
well,
complimenting my wins.
had she looked it up, she would have known he was American. So she's off.
That
the
is
hook.
true.
That is true.
Okay, we go to this. Hey, everybody, brace yourself. Wicked is about to be available to stream on Peacock. I can't think of a weekend event.
I'm canceling my
not already?
subscription.
I can't think of something less appealing. One, you have to get me to sign up for Peacock, and then two, you got Wicked on there.
Let me tell you why it's appealing to you. It's because you no longer have to walk by the theaters and hear it blasting out of the theaters. You're trying to shoot your out of the theater reactions anymore because it will soon be available to stream on Peacock starting March 21st. The blockbuster movie musical has earned 10 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, and has grossed over $727 million at the worldwide box office. Obviously, the sequel coming out this year feels like we're never going to get away from this thing.
The Wicked Part 2.
The Wicked Part 2.
Yeah, the Wicked Part 2. Wicked for good. Nicole,
Sorry, I'm just
you're good.
thinking about this. Like, what is this movie going to be?
Galinda and Elphaba continuing their
There's
journey.
no songs.
There's no good songs.
Yeah.
But I think they wrote some original songs for the movie. But like
Ugh.
Act 1 of Wicked, if you've ever seen it on stage, you're like, oh my gosh, how's Act 2 going to top it? It doesn't. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's Los Angeles home was broken into. Have you guys heard about this?
Oh no.
It's broken into on Valentine's Day and reportedly ransacked. An intruder smashed a glass door to gain entry before fleeing the property. The couple was not home at the time. Still publicly unclear if anything was taken, as an employee was reported by TMZ as having scared off the intruder. So give that employee a raise, I would think.
How was the house ransacked if the person was scared off and nothing was taken?
It's a large home, so it's expansive. From what I've been able to tell, the intruder had done the damage and then heard the employee coming.
So the house was not ransacked.
The house was not. Part of the house was.
He hit the
Oh.
guest house.
Probably.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A portion of the house was
Okay.
ransacked,
Okay.
but it's a large, sprawling estate.
Yeah.
I feel like you had something to say,
Yeah.
Tyler. I'm sorry.
No, I got nothing to add here.
Tyler was going to say, I hope they catch that guy. That's what Tyler was going to
Yeah.
say. Cheech Marin and Tommy Chong taking one final trip in Cheech and Chong's last movie, opening in select theaters on April 20th before going nationwide on April 25th. Tyler, are you excited for Cheech and Chong's last movie?
No, and I like their work. I like Up in Smoke. I like Tommy Chong on that '70s show. I have no interest in watching Tommy Chong with a colostomy bag do the same shtick.
Yeah. Well,
How?
will you be seeing this in theaters though?
Yeah, yeah. Gotta get to 200 and whatever, or just above whatever I got last year. I don't know.
Okay.
Every movie,
All right.
I'm on pace for like 250 or something.
Oh my gosh.
How old are they now?
Or no, I don't know. My
They've
math
got to
is
be
bad.
raisins at this point, right?
They are.
They're old.
Yeah.
I don't know the correct answer, but they're
Okay.
old. Yeah. You'll be happy about this one, EG, or maybe you won't.
Let's hear it.
You don't like sequels. Never mind.
Top
But
Gun.
no, Mindy Kaling
Yep. Familiar.
has reportedly, quote, just finished up a draft for Legally Blonde 3. She's writing the
Oh
script.
yeah. They were actually casting. Speaking of unknowns, they opened up to TikTok for submissions, and a girl, like, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the girl that is going to be young Elle Woods is not a very well known actress. That she got it through that process actually.
Now, I don't know the answer. Are they making a Legally Blonde television series as well?
I haven't heard about a television series.
So
I've just heard about the
Th-
movie.
that casting was for the movie?
Yeah.
So how does that work, casting a young Elle Woods when
There already was a young Elle Woods.
correct?
Yeah. That's what I don't really, and I don't know if they're just trying to get someone that looks like, maybe it's like her cousin younger. I don't know.
Okay, we'll stay tuned there. But Mindy Kaling has Legally Blonde 3, at least a draft of it ready to go. And
I love Legally Blonde, the first one.
there've been a lot of people turning out for it. It's very popular.
Yeah.
I got scared at first when you said Mindy Kaling because I thought you were gonna hit EG with her love of Scooby Doo and be like, "There's a new season of Velma," and
Oh.
No, not doing that.
cool.
Yeah, that's a rough watch there for sure. Hey, we've talked about Brits. How
Yeah.
about we talk about those from Canada now with another Meltdown countdown? We like to call it. Oh my gosh.
What?
Yeah,
Did you see it?
I did too. Fuck
What?
The hammer just moved behind you. I
it
thought it was
really
going
did.
to fall on
It
you.
was
Straight
my
up.
hair.
I
Oh,
know, but
It was
See,
my
I didn't
hair.
see that. I just saw it move. I was like, what?
Y'all are like so
no,
jumpy.
no, I'm nervous. I am legitimately nervous. Too many things have gone wrong today. And then like, when that moved, I was worried for you, EG.
I didn't even see the movie.
see it move. And that's because when you when you said from talking about the Brits, I swear I thought you were gonna transition into an Alabama dip.
It was really solid too.
That would have been great.
Brits have really bad
Awful
teeth.
teeth.
Awful bad teeth. I don't know if we can show off the smile of that monkey popcorn bucket, but that's the kind of smile that you want going to Alabama Dental Associates. Look at that thing. I mean, it's just grinning ear to ear, and that is what you're going to be doing when you head over to Alabama Dental Associates. Go check them out. You've got the trio that I absolutely adore there. I actually am going to an appointment on Monday. They're at Alabama Dental. They are located on Grants Mill Road, and I'm telling you, they are the best at what they do. So make sure you head on over to Alabama Dental Associates. I think Dr. Brian is going to be playing poker with us throughout the course of the entire season, as
Good.
he seems to be absolutely hooked there. But check out Alabama Dental Associates, and who knows, maybe you'll see me in there as well, because I'm always enjoying my time at Alabama Dental. Make sure you check them out. Alabama Dental Associates, located right here in town. If you're new in town, make sure you give them a buzz, or maybe just check out their website there at alabamadental.com. All right, let's now go ahead and get to your list here, Tyler. That is going to be the Meltdown Countdown today, asking about your 5 favorite Canadian on-screen performers. as we are
Yeah.
looking very forward to this one. This is a tough one because you have a bevy of opportunities of who to include and who not to include on this list.
Yes, this was difficult, not for who to include. There were a bunch of names that immediately came to mind. Then you go through the list, and you can only put 5 on the show list. So then it became a question of, all right, what level of fame and success and talent is the cutoff for this list? And that was very difficult, but I hope I've got a good one. So starting off, number 5, starting strong, an actor that has been doing very well down here in the good old US of A, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, he's number 5. Wow.
Yes. Like I said, it's very difficult to determine where the cutoff is.
Where do we go from here, Tyler? I mean,
Exactly.
wow.
Ryan Reynolds is number 5.
Yes.
He'll soon be off of this list. I feel
Yeah.
confident about that after the legal drama and the
Yeah.
messiness, and I think he'll fade off.
This is current, and I just genuinely could not care less about that lawsuit.
I just think there's a good chance that you see less Reynolds content moving forward, and I hope that's not the case because he's supposedly behind a reworking of Clue,
Oh,
and
interesting.
Clue is one of my
Ooh.
favorite movies, so I'm excited to see what he maybe comes up with there. Him and Jason Bateman, I believe, have been working on it.
All right, moving on. Number 4, an actor we do not get to see much of these days. Not necessarily his fault or the studio's fault. It's just the way it is.
Showbiz.
That's just showbiz, baby, in life, and that's Michael J. Fox.
He's
Mar-
Canadian?
yes, he is Canadian.
Wow. Huh, I didn't know that.
Let me guess, you thought he was American? You thought everything great comes from this country? Everything?
I mean, it's not
No comment?
it's not wrong. But yeah, Michael J. Fox. I love the Back to the Future franchise. Sadly, with the way his Parkinson's has progressed, it's just not really feasible to get the gang back together for Back to the Future 4 or Family. Was it Family Ties to do a reunion on that? So I love Back to the Future though. You cannot talk about just like iconic movies, and a lot of these in the list are going to be like 80s and 90s icons, and I don't think you can talk 80s without talking Back to the Future.
Yeah, no, Michael J. Fox is a very solid pick, and at one time was the most in-demand product in Hollywood,
Mhm.
and very much I when I think of Tom Holland, I kinda also think of Michael J. Fox. They have that sort of similar charm, that similar build, that similar
Interesting.
I feel like if they ever and they shouldn't do it, they should not do it, but if they ever reboot Back to the Future, they should not do it, but if they
Do
do,
not do that.
I would sign up for the Tom Holland version of that, but they shouldn't do it. So I'm very conflicted there, but anyway, same
Didn't
sort of energy.
didn't they do an AI edit with him and Robert Downey Jr. as characters from the movie like a while ago?
Man, that would be awesome. I haven't seen that, but that would be awesome. I'm sure they
It was like a
have.
deep fake. I'm pretty sure I saw it like during COVID or something
There's
like
an
that.
AI edit of almost everything now, every sort of fan casting out there, but I think that that would be awesome. I think it would work. Maybe not so much now. I feel like maybe Tom Holland sort of aged out of that, but anyway, similar energy. Let's move on to number 3 on your favorite Canadian on-screen performers.
Number 3 on my list, continuing with that 80s icon theme. This person was one of the heads of just a major franchise. Also was, I believe, one of the original cast members of a show that's been going on for a very long time. He's a mainstay of American culture, and that is Dan Aykroyd, the known for Ghostbusters, Saturday Night Live, The Blues Brothers, Tommy Boy,
Great Outdoors.
Great Outdoors. I love Dan Aykroyd in anything he's in, and couldn't leave him off the list.
You ever seen Nothing But Trouble?
I have not.
Dan Aykroyd took a big swing with that. I believe he also directed that movie, if I'm not mistaken, but it's almost like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre comedy.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
Okay.
Sounds fun.
doesn't E.g., you would not be a fan of this. I remember watching it as a kid, and I actually kind of enjoyed it as a kid. It was freaky. It's
I
really,
I
really
I will I
terrifying,
will check that out.
but nothing but trouble. I wonder how it would hold up all these years later, but anyway, you say you love everything Dan Aykroyd's in. I wonder if that one would also be something that you go, "Yep," or if you'd be like, "You know what? He's off the list with my favorite Canadians." All right, let's continue on.
Number 2, just missing out on that top spot. This legendary Canadian had one of the greatest runs I think an actor's ever had back in the 90s. I mean, at one point was the highest paid actor. And that's Jim Carrey. He's still working today and he's still entertaining the masses. Started off in a comedy troupe up in Canada and then made his way here and charmed his way into our hearts with his just goofball nature, whether it's In Living Color or Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask,
The Grinch.
The
Fir-
Grinch. Dude
fir-
was on a run.
First actor ever to be paid $20 million for a role, and that was for the Cable Guy.
Mhm.
After the string of hits, didn't quite recoup that with the Cable Guy. It wasn't a huge box office bomb, but it definitely underperformed. And he wrote himself a check for $10 million back when he had
Yes.
nothing and
I
said,
love
"I'm going
that
to
story.
cash this thing." Ended up cashing it. I mean, or ended up at least making good on that promise. I don't know if he cashed that actual check, but um, yeah, I mean, this is a guy that didn't want to fall into the trappings of becoming his father, while also still sort of respecting what his father brought to the family. And, you know, he's remained culturally relevant throughout his entire on screen career. And sometimes he's been in some really awful movies,
Mhm.
but other times he's delivered iconic performances that can never be replicated in an era that feels like it's gone. I mean, it feels like we're not going to get that Jim Carrey style of comedy ever again. Hunter, what is your favorite Jim Carrey movie if you had to pick just one?
Well, we talked about it the other day. I think it's not my favorite movie. I think it's my favorite role that he's done, just childhood nostalgia, but when he played the Riddler.
Oh yeah, Batman
It's
Forever.
hilarious.
Dude, that hit at the perfect time for me. I absolutely love Jim Carrey's Riddler. And while they've taken the character in different directions now, which are absolutely terrifying,
Yeah.
Paul Dano's Riddler is way more terrifying than Hard
Yes.
Eyes, and I got similar vibes there from them, but Paul Dano's Riddler's way scarier. But yeah, that's a great choice there. Great choice. Tyler, you have a favorite Jim Carrey movie, like your all-time favorite?
Ooh, that's tough. So many just iconic performances. I don't go back to Ace Ventura enough to put that at the top spot, so I don't think I'd go there. Mm. Might go Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
good one.
That one never gets old to me.
Boyd
But
Christmas.
but you could also throw in some of his more serious roles, like Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and I think those are both fantastic movies. I would say I like those 2 movies more than a lot of his comedy.
There's a movie everybody dunked on that I really liked when I saw it, and that was The Majestic. I really liked The
Just
Majestic. Yeah. He plays it straight. It's a serious role where he's got like amnesia and he's found and they some guy goes like, "Oh, you're my son," and he just sort of buys into it of like, "Oh, okay, tell me more." And it has to do with a theater and renovating it. And I really enjoyed it, although I don't think a lot of Jim Carrey fans enjoyed the movie. I did. And I don't probably a lot of critics didn't enjoy it either, but I saw it at like 12 and really like, okay, I like this. This is some serious cinema.
Man on the Moon,
Oh,
another
yeah.
good one.
Man, he lost his mind during that.
He went
Went full
nuts.
method.
Yeah.
Full method. The documentaries about that I enjoy more than the actual movie.
The Jim and Andy documentary on Netflix is so good.
Yeah. Jerry the King Lawler and him did not get along very well.
There's also a story that Dave Chappelle was telling a while back, and he was up and coming at the time, and he got the chance to go to the set of Man on the Moon and meet Jim Carrey. At the time, it was one of Chappelle's heroes. But Jim Carrey's, like, full method at the time, so Chappelle was told, like, "Oh, you've gotta call him Andy all day. He is Andy Kaufman today. Do not call him Jim, he'll get upset." And so Dave Chappelle had to hang out with him all day pretending he's Andy Kaufman.
And that was the tough thing about that Saturday Night movie that we saw this past year, is that
Mhm.
I just did not buy that version of Andy Kaufman compared to what's on Man on the Moon, but
Yeah, I thought the voice was good, but that was about it. But I don't know. To be fair, that version of Andy Kaufman barely has any screen time.
that is correct. Let's move on to number 1. I'm worried you're gonna break my heart here, Tyler. You are gonna break my heart, aren't you?
I think I am, but there was zero chance that this person was not going to be number one, even with that whole preface I did at the beginning of like fame and success and, you know, longevity, all that. Even though I would argue this person has all of that in spades, that's Keanu Reeves, one of my favorite actors of all time, star of my one of my favorite franchises of all time, the John Wick franchise, and then you've also got just an endless filmography filled with great movies. I know you hate The Matrix,
I
but
do, but I like Keanu, and I think he's a stellar guy, and he's a guy you root for on and off screen.
absolutely, he's someone that you just pray doesn't have any stories come out about them because their public persona is like, I'm a nice guy. You can approach me, we'll chat it up, but also pretty private. So it would just be heartbreaking if someone who's reported to be so kind ended up not being that.
Yeah, that would stink. Um,
But love Keanu. You got Point Break as well.
yeah.
Love Point Break.
What celebrity would y'all actually approach in public?
I would approach Keanu for
Okay,
sure.
besides Keanu.
Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog.
I don't know of one, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I always feel like I'm invading on their time and privacy if, um, you know, there was this guy Jason last night who did it to me, came up, and it was just he made this big deal about how big of a YouTube star I am, and it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. And there was press there, and I was like, back off, but it's okay. You give fans, a little bit of in, and they take, next thing you know, they're riding home with you, shotgun. But we had a great after party. Anyway, the point I'm getting to is this: John Candy should have been on this list.
I know, and I
Wow.
I told you that he was not going to be before the show because you were like,
You did not.
Well, there's I kind of did. There's Tim goes. There's one person that just has to make your list. I will be upset if he doesn't make your list. And I look at him and I just see it in his eyes. And I go, John Candy, and he looks at me and he goes, no. He goes, you're right. And yeah, so you should have been prepared.
Let me just through some names here that definitely should have considered maybe a little bit more of a step in there potentially. Now, once again, this is your list, so it's not about winning or losing the list. It's just about this is who didn't make the cut. This is how talented this pool of Canadians are. Martin Short,
Oof.
Mike Myers,
I thought about going Mike Myers at that number 5 spot, but ended up not.
Rick Moranis, John
Not bad.
Candy. I'm going to repeat again, John
Mm.
Candy. Ryan Reynolds would have John Candy ranked ahead of Ryan Reynolds. That's how big of a John Candy fan Ryan Reynolds is. Um, after that, I don't see anybody else that would necessarily replace anybody on your list. But that 5th spot, I feel like maybe Ryan Gosling would be.
I thought about going Ryan
considered.
Gosling. He would have been honorable mention, just missing the
Yeah,
cut. But
yeah. Oh, man.
box office. Ryan Gosling is not a box office draw.
I really like your list. I would have left Aykroyd off, and I would have left Ryan Reynolds off.
Wait, so you would have left off Dan Aykroyd and Ryan Reynolds and replaced them with John Candy?
I would have had John Candy in there, absolutely, in my top
I mean,
5.
I know you love John Candy, but
I think most people
Yeah.
would say
John
John
Candy.
Candy would be ahead of those two. Maybe not Ryan Reynolds because he's so super popular right now, but I think if you talk to people who look at the whole picture, I think John Candy would find a spot on most people's list. But it's not that your list is wrong. It's just that John Candy, he's the only one I needed
Michael
to hear.
Keaton is number 4,
Yeah, I was
Tim.
about
Get
to say-
over it.
I was about to say you've gotten bodied twice in 1 week with Michael Keaton and now John Candy. That's just unfortunate.
Let's move on to something we can
Tim, I
actually.
did not grow up in the time you did.
I understand that. But if that was the case, then like maybe I don't know, Dan Aykroyd, um, it wouldn't be as personal for you either. I mean, he hit his heyday during a time where you weren't even thought of. So
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, circle back around, watch the John Candy collection, and then we'll have a discussion. But I'm not
What
blaming
movie
you.
were you trying to get me and Scott to watch that neither one of us had even heard of? It was a John Candy movie.
Summer Rental.
It's up there.
It is up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Summer
that's
Rental.
because there's probably no known copies in circulation of Summer Rental.
See, now you're saying things that just are not true. I promise you, when the 4K Steelbook of Summer Rental comes out, I'm gonna flash it in front of your
Ah.
face. Oh, it's
Yeah.
a Blu-ray out
Yeah.
there. You can find it. It exists.
I'm
Yeah,
looking it up.
Blu-ray. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much?
Look at that.
How much?
$30.
Okay. That's
This one's on sale for $19.
For some reason, I wanted to say don't bring a pickle to a bazooka fight, but I don't know what that means.
what? What?
I don't know.
What?
The monkey's doing weird things to my vocabulary.
Yeah.
Okay, now EG's turning on me.
I just
Lost EG now. Here's what I'm sorry. I'm not going to back down. I think John Candy.
Look, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the expression.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I've never heard anybody else say it. It does. I cannot logistically make it make
Don't bring a-
sense. But I told you my honest feeling. I think it's from the heat stroke I'm having in here, but I was going to say don't bring a pickle to a bazooka fight, and I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I agree with you. It's dumb. The John Candy
You should
argument
put
is
it on a
not.
T-shirt.
Merch.
I literally think 0 people would buy that.
Yeah, I've had some other T-shirt ideas that did not get.
Let us know in the chat if
Get
you'd buy
made.
that.
Okay, I want to get
And
into a segment of physicality. This is one of our favorite things that we've started doing here on the show. It's really been inspired by our mystery box unboxings, which we will get to again next week. We've been going on some physical media field trips as a crew. But first, before we get to our loot here, let's head on over to Tyler. Tyler, what you got for us?
Oh, just a little bit of a chat check-in. We got some votes on the new James Bond. We got some votes for Henry Cavill and Idris Elba. I think Idris Elba would have been a great choice 10 years ago, but not so much now. Jason says Theo James from The Monkey is a Brit.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim was ready to cast him as Bond yesterday before the movie.
Oh, that's correct. I do think Theo James, if they are going for a more mature Bond, it would work. I think Theo James would be a great
Yeah.
Bond.
The conversation we had yesterday, I wish we could have recorded that because that was a great conversation.
That's the problem, Hunter, is that the lights go off, the cameras go off, the microphones go off, and then
We don't, though.
our conversations absolute gold.
They are.
And
it's
then we try to recreate them, and here we are. We bring in a pickle to a bazooka fight.
Let's see. Pavlik says Dan Aykroyd in Christmas with the Cranks is underrated. Yeah,
Christmas-
that's a good
That's a-
poll.
Christmas with the Cranks sucks.
I mean,
that movie sucks.
I like
I'm
that
not
movie.
I'm not a big fan of the movie, but I like Dan Aykroyd in that movie. I like him a lot more than Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen.
And I heard you start to say the J name. I was like, are you going to say John Candy? Anyway. Okay. Tyler, you want to go first or second with the segment of physicality here?
You go first.
Okay. I have 3 different things to display here.
Dang, shopping haul.
A little bit of a shopping haul, all coming from different places.
Okay.
So they share the same bag, but only for carrying purposes. So 2 of these take place on the water. I'm going to start with
Summer rental.
the one that another thing that me and Tyler just absolutely disagree on. I love Titanic. I think Titanic is one of the all-time great cinematic experiences. Once again, Tyler, not alive during the height of this movie, which the woman at the cash register and I started to bond over. That's a true story.
That's true.
that
I was
was-
trying to get out of my conversation with her as quick as possible.
Shocker.
You stuck around though.
I did. Well, I mean, she was charmed by me, and that's fine. But we had started talking about this movie,
Where were you
and
guys?
where were we?
Yeah.
At the cash register at Barnes and Noble. And I went to go purchase this movie, and the woman says, I bet you them two, pointing at Hunter and Tyler, bet you they don't even know what it was like when this came out. I'm 40 and it was amazing. And she looked me in the eyes and she didn't break eye contact. And I said, I'll never let you go. And then we walked away.
Oh,
You know. But I'm going to tell you this, both of us ain't fitting on that door. You know what I'm saying? That's called a tight squeeze. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We would be the reverse unsinkable
I
Molly
fit in the
Brown.
backseat of that car.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll tell you, the handprint thing would work though with the humidity in this room.
Holy moly! I mean, ah,
Anyway, be like one of your French girls and enjoy this version of Titanic. It's got the slip cover. And what made this such a great pickup was the fact that it was 40% off
oh,
list price.
that'll do it.
And it was the only copy in the store. And so immediately I start to compare online with, okay, am I really
Naturally.
and I got a good deal. I got a really good deal on this and picked this up for less than 20 bucks.
Slay.
4K, Ultra HD, tons of bonus features.
you're welcome.
And Hunter's the one
Yeah,
who found it.
I was waiting because he did not give you due credit for finding this.
No, I was telling the whole story. I was telling the whole story. Hunter, I was telling the whole story. Don't you turn on me too. But EG, it is now time to head on up to the big board and cross off Titanic,
Really?
if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
Okay. This is one of EG's favorite things about what we do, and that is the big board. We have a shot of the board, and Titanic is right there. What's going to happen here? It is
Down she goes.
officially eliminated off the board
Choice of words.
of physicality. Okay. Did you drop the marker? The Monkey Man. It's not the
Not to be confused with Monkey Man, which released last year.
another
We were
movie.
going the same place.
Another movie Tyler liked. Okay.
Well, you ended up liking that one.
It was okay.
All right. Let's
Didn't
move on.
love it. Me and Tyler, different pages today. Should make for a fun spoiler review of The Monkey. This is a 4K Ultra HD Steelbook edition of one of my favorite movies. Another one centered around the ocean is Jaws, 45th anniversary, Steelbook. EG's headed up to the board already. She's going to mark it off. But I've heard this version of Jaws is as good as any version of this movie that you can see, better than any version of this movie that you can see, not only at home, but also in the theater. This is a great transfer over to 4K. So let's go ahead and make it happen, EG. Let's mark it off. We're working through this list.
So where'd you get it from?
I got this from Groove
Ah,
for 25 bucks. And let me tell you this, normally you can't find this for less than 40 typically.
Wow. Okay.
And when I saw it pop up, I said, this has to be a typo, or it has to be a DVD version, or it has
Eh.
to be a Blu-ray version. It cannot be what I think it is. Because when my daughter was born, I found one copy of this in a Target. And it was like 35, 36 bucks. And I was like, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on this. But then I was like, no, we need diapers. So I decided to put
Priorities.
this back. I put it back going, next paycheck that hits, I'll come pick this up. Went back, gone.
Mm.
Went online, the resellers, I mean, it was just popping. I understand, Tyler, you don't leave John Candy on your list, and then you charge me $65 for a copy of Jaws on 4K Ultra HD.
it's worth what people are willing to pay.
That is correct. I almost did it, but I waited. And I waited and waited and waited, and all these years later, I found a great deal on this. So if you're able to if you want to add this to your collection, once again, Steelbook copy, don't want to dent it, but love this. On the back, it has the girl that's swimming. I know that we can't see it because it's got the J cover here on the back, but this thing is something I cannot wait to dive into, and that is Jaws. Okay. And last but not least, you can go ahead and sit down, EG. This one will not be a mark-off because we just altered it. It's technically a mark-off, but I got a 4K Ultra HD edition Steelbook of Labyrinth, another one of my favorite movies of all time. Well, the reason we didn't mark it off is because we had to save space. We put Labyrinth and Pan's Labyrinth up there as one.
Yes.
So we've just now altered it to Pan's Labyrinth because I already have Labyrinth now. So Pan's Labyrinth will stay up on the board in the top
Why don't
right.
we just cross off Labyrinth, and then when we get Pan's Labyrinth, we'll cross off Pan?
Because Pans isn't the name of the movie, E.G.
Well, I don't care. It's my board.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm glad that this has become. She's like, I want to destroy names on the board. I just think we have emotionally destroyed names on the board. But if you want to put a star or something, I don't feel like it's full cross through.
That's okay.
Okay. Labyrinth. Love this movie. David Bowie, Jennifer Connelly in this, and just a great fantasy Jim Henson epic with a bunch of musical numbers. Tyler, have you ever seen Labyrinth? Has that ever been a movie that you've seen? Labyrinth?
Yeah,
You've seen it?
We've talked about Labyrinth.
I couldn't recall if we had talked deeply about Labyrinth.
Not particularly deeply,
yeah,
just
no,
sort of
you're
like referencing characters here and there, like
You're
Ludo
exactly
and
right.
Sir Didymus.
You are absolutely correct. That is me blanking on that. I apologize. That's been, I know every time I bring up Labyrinth, you bring up Sir Didymus and how big a fan you are, which is why
things are
I
falling.
text you about that. It happens.
It does happen sometimes to people.
It
and
does.
It's okay.
It does.
Yeah.
That monkey is doing things to us today in this studio, but it's got the inside art there, 2 discs, and it actually has one of the bonus features is how to juggle like David Bowie in this movie.
Cool.
And I watched the full 26 minutes of how to juggle like David
Do
Bowie.
you think you can give us a demonstration eventually?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I've got it's really incredibly tough to do. I can't remember what it's called. I want to say it's called like contact juggling or something like that.
Interesting. So
That sounds like a thing.
Yeah.
Contact juggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's only one problem with this, and that is the scene where she meets the worm for really getting into the labyrinth. It has like a barcode that comes across the top. It's almost like a glitch. And I was like, is this disc not going to work? And I figured out it's across every copy of this.
Oh,
Every copy of this has that little glitch. And it didn't really bother me that much. And it actually made me feel better. It's across every copy and not just mine.
that's a pressing error.
But this is a Shout Factory release. It's got great art there on the back of one of the door knocker characters that she runs into. But Labyrinth, next thing I need to do is pick up the soundtrack. But anyway, there we go. Fun stuff. Tyler, what do you have to show off today?
I only picked up one thing, and that is because there were quite a few things in my hand yesterday. And then I started comparing prices online and decided, you know what? This is really the only good deal on what I'm looking for today. So I picked up another Criterion collection, this time of Parasite, and it was 30% off. So this has got a lot of special features. It's got a black and white version of the film, conversations with the director, and, essays and interviews and whatnot. I've actually never seen Parasite, but I think I will love it.
Mm-hmm.
You will.
So I think I'm gonna watch it tonight, since there's no really good movies to go see tonight that I haven't already seen. And out of pure coincidence, I'm wearing the Supreme Korea shirt.
I want you to review that movie on Monday if you watch it tonight or watch it this weekend. And I really want your Criterion experience as well reviewed because it's a deep dive for those that don't know. I mean, that's looked at as the holy grail of a way to own a film with all the, not only the art you get with the packaging, but also all the little inserts you get inside.
Yeah, I love the look of this packaging too, the sort of cutout style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's very, very nice. And Hunter, we both agree that Tyler's going to love that movie.
Oh yeah, it's right up your alley. You're gonna love it.
All right,
For sure.
Is this your second Criterion?
Yes, I own Silence of the Lambs and Parasite, and that's it right now.
He's got the bug.
I got the bug.
He's
I
got
got
the
the
bug.
bug. I'm gonna.
Expensive.
I know
bug.
I'm gonna be buying the Anora one when that comes out, and to Tim's dismay. And I also want the Seven Samurai one because that's got just a boatload of special features I could dig into. Learn some history.
That'll be your next one. I'm calling it Seven Samurai.
Yeah, that probably is because I could go and pick it up
Yeah.
like in person if I just really wanted it now.
Literally 5 minutes away.
I want to hear about your entire Parasite review. I want to know about the inserts. I want to know about the whole thing. So make sure you log all that and bring us some goodies to talk about on Monday.
Oh, we've got some controversy in the chat.
We do.
Nick says, "Wait, I thought you had to pull it out of a box to mark it off the board." And Saber says we're cheating because of failure. Well, say, Bear, if you take a look at Tyler's Corner up in the top left, Parasite is not one of those movies. I have yet to cheat.
Well, I see what he's doing. He's responding to the chat while throwing me directly
Yeah.
under the
Yeah,
bus.
well, you know, I also don't think you cheated. We got cheated by
Yeah.
that dude in San Antonio, Florida, or wherever he's from. With those awful boxes, you spent $100 on
Thank you.
garbage.
Thank you.
On
Literal
garbage.
asbestos in a
Look at
box.
this.
Like, if that guy wanted to just toss it out, there was enough garbage in there where he would have to pay for someone to haul it off for him.
Y'all want to do an unboxing right now at this last one?
No.
Y'all want to do it right now? We can open
No.
it up.
Mine as well.
Hunter,
No.
just
Fruit
go
is past him.
nose deep into it. So, yeah, no, this is the situation. Okay. The chat is actually correct. We are kind of cheating the system by going out and finding these things. However, we are finding them at their most premium format.
Yep.
We are.
And as a person that loves these films, and as a person that has given so many entries to this list, if I can own something I love in its most premium format
You're gonna get it.
and get a deal on it, I feel like that is worthy of a cross off.
Yeah, like, I mean, we could have honestly crossed out like half of this stuff on the board if we were just picking up any copy. But like Pan's Labyrinth isn't crossed off because you want the Criterion version of it. Let's see, Oppenheimer's not crossed off, and there were so many copies of that yesterday. What else did we see? I saw a Blu-ray of Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing.
And a 4K of Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
Because if I find a version of it that I love, I will purchase it and we will cross it off. But the goal is to then add more movies to the list. At some point, we've got to not only cross off, but also replace. And we will get to that point when the board starts looking a little barren. However, we have opened up how many boxes?
5.
So Say Bear talking about how it's all due to failure. That's also correct.
Yeah.
We've opened up more than 5 boxes, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong.
3 second-hand Charles, 2 eBay.
Yeah, you're probably right. We've gotten a lot of fitness DVDs. Maybe I'll just start. That would be the way to rig the game. It's like, just go ahead and put Deltoid Workout 3 up there. And let's see if that's going to end up.
We already got 5 copies of the Deltoid Workout 2.
Yeah.
Cross off part 3.
Power Pickleball Experts 14. Throw that up there. But anyway, we're going to keep working on the list. It is a little bit, I agree. I've had people actually tell me, like, hey, man, I can get you the stuff that's on the list. And I'm like, well,
Well, Jason in the chat also says, I have some DVD versions of some of those movies if you're interested.
Yeah.
We appreciate the offer, but not what we're going for here.
really-
We gotta pull it out of the box or get it in some super nice 4K Criterion Steelbook fashion that is worthy of showing off on the show.
I really do think the hardest one that's up there is Last Action Hero. That's going to be a hard one to find.
Disagree.
I
think so?
I mean,
Disagree. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The one that's going to be the hardest one to find up there is probably Cop and a Half. Or getting even.
1000%. Or getting even with Dad.
Yeah. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if Last Action Hero is featured on this show next week.
Is
That's all I'm gonna say.
that code for I bought the 4K Steelbook because I did see one of those?
Do they actually have a 4K Steelbook of
They
Live
do.
Action Hero? You're kidding. I have to see that.
Maybe showing it off next week.
It's
Holy
pretty
Tim.
pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. But I haven't gotten it yet. So
Okay.
it hadn't come off the board yet. But once I get it, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be jonesing until then.
Can I ask where you got it from?
I think I got it off of Amazon, which I bought Air Force One off of Amazon,
Mhm.
and it was a little dented. Now, look, I know,
Yikes.
Tyler, you would not hesitate, file a claim, do all that stuff, and you're right. You're the majority
Well,
of the
if
American
my
consumer.
copy of Nosferatu comes indented, you bet I'm filing a claim.
This has been my experience so far.
I'm going to Mr. Bezos himself.
Walmart has amazing prices, but the version of the copy you get could be very damaged even in store.
Yeah.
Like you have to really inspect. I mean, there was a 4K Steelbook copy of Jackie Brown that I was really tempted by, but it was beat to holy hell. So I could not justify buying that. And you can't negotiate, it's one of those things. So Walmart, be careful when it comes to their in-store because it's like a wasteland of physical media sometimes. And Walmarts differ so greatly. One Walmart will have a premium physical media collection. The other one will have nothing. It'll be a barren wasteland. So there's books, not Books, Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble, which we've done a lot of shopping at here recently, that has, I think, the best collection when it comes to quality, minus the fact that I wanted an Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom steelbook that was just wrecked on the inside. I mean, you could tell there was major damage going on in there.
It was so loose in there, you would have thought the disc was in pieces.
Yeah, there's more of a Temple of Doom happening in that box.
Yeah.
It's a literal Temple of Doom in there.
Yeah.
So
if only you could reach in and pull out the disc. Just Kalima, reach in. Give me the movie.
Great job. That's so good. I love Temple of Doom. So I would have pulled the trigger on that, but it's a premium price. A lot of those the prices aren't great, but if you find that it's got the best in-store quality from what I've seen at Barnes & Noble. There's groove.com, which I highly recommend you check out. They've got some great deals, and that is where I got the Jaws 4K Steelbook, and it came packaged perfectly. The Air Force One through Amazon was just thrown in the box with another piece of cardboard in there, but no protective lining, and it had 2 dents on it. But it gives it character, and I felt like Harrison Ford at the end of Air Force One, where I was better off for having gone through the fight.
Is this the link you sent me the other day for The Fugitive?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Check out Groove. It's good.
I'm gonna have to look into that for sure.
It's good. It's good. All right. If anybody has anything else to say, now will be the time because we're about to wish everyone a happy weekend here from the Meltdown. We appreciate all of those who have been in the chat.
Ooh, sorry, Tim. Justin in the chat says Walton Goggins for Bond. Yeah?
That was worth interrupting me for?
Yes.
Wow.
Think about it.
No.
Yeah?
Never.
Yes.
What? That monkey's done things to you. No.
You just don't see the vision.
Maybe a Bond villain henchman or something, but not as Bond.
Oh, you're telling me that wouldn't be entertaining?
He's from Birmingham, Alabama, not Birmingham, England.
Even better.
No, I don't think it would work. I do love some Walton Goggins, though.
Yeah.
And I am hoping, here's the tie-in. You ready?
Here we go.
Walton Goggins, the show he's most known for right now currently is Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout is produced by
Amazon.
Who now owns
James
James Bond.
So it's possible, is all I'm saying. He's in the family already.
He is. And
Wow.
Fallout Season 2 is already shooting.
Oh, man, I'm so excited for Fallout
He
Season
says
2.
it's going to be even crazier than Season 1.
Season 1 was great. If you haven't
love
seen
Season 1.
Fallout Season 1, man, if you can stick around with it for a few episodes and really sort of get in the groove of that world, if you're not a gamer, I think it's a lot of fun. So there we have it. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. E.G.,
Yes.
you are off to Canada. Say hello to all of Lionel's list for us, please.
Yeah, our maple syrup brother and sisters.
Yes.
Flex your freedom.
I will. I'm really excited. Flight leaves tomorrow. And I'll be back one day. Just kidding. I'll be back in a week.
Not if that monkey has anything to say about it.
Oh, my Lord.
All right. Tyler, appreciate all your work this week and have really enjoyed all of our time spent outside of the Culver studio. It's been a good time getting some fresh air and collecting all this physical media. It's been a lot of fun.
Been a lot of fun. Glad we get to do it. And thanks for joining us, Hunter. You joined us for the movie. Well, even though you didn't watch The Monkey with us, you joined the trip.
Yeah.
All these physical media field trips. Yeah, it's been a blast.
It's been really fun. I've enjoyed my time with y'all. It's been great. Can't wait for some more field trips, possibly going other places besides Barnes and Noble to find some media. So.
Could be fun. Some chicken salad sandwiches too. That would be good. I want to scarf those down, put some in my pocket for the ride home.
Shout out to Mom.
Absolutely. That's going to do it here for the Meltdown. I've said goodbye 15 times. Going to make it a 16th. Have a wonderful weekend. Go visit mybookie.ag. Use promo code next round for that first time deposit sign up bonus there at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Live casino there, or you can play the sports book where you can bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. See you next week.